Welcome back to No Chill with Gilbert Arenas, coming to you from the Blue Wire studio here at the Win. Now, our guest today is a certified legend. He was a McDonald's All-American Game MVP in 1993, All-American in North Carolina, two-time All-Star during his 18-year NBA career. Now he's the head coach at Vanderbilt. Jerry Stackhouse, we appreciate you pulling up.
Great to be here, man. Thank you.
I done seen you mobbing around the Win, last couple of days, balling out. I was afraid to come up to you, but I know he was going to do this show. Just out of respect, I was starstruck, man.
Don't be scared. Don't start off scared. We can't have that.
No, you was one of my favorite hoopers coming up, man. So thankful to have you on the show. But we're out here NBA Summer League. So I just want to know, you came in the league in 95, right? 96?
Yeah, 1995.
1995. What was the Summer League experience like for you back then in 1995?
It was actually pretty weird, man, because we didn't have a summer league team. The Sixers didn't put a team. Most teams had a team in, but we didn't. So I kind of played on an independent team. It was out in Long Beach at the time, so it was cool to get out to LA. But no, I was with a bunch of free agents, and we were hooping against other teams and whatnot. But it was cool, though. I was just so excited to be in the league and be around that type of that type of talent. But it was definitely not what it is today, man. It's unbelievable what the NBA has done with the summer league and how it's grown, and everybody kind of comes out, and it's a reunion. It's a brotherhood. Guys that haven't seen each other in a long time, you get to visit and talk about the good old days, which we all had.
Wait, 95, is that the first year they capped the rookies coming in?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, that was it. Yeah, I was on the first year rookie deal. I mean, Grant Hill probably signed for at the third pick the year before. I think he signed for like $45 million. I signed for $7 million.
Yeah. I was saying 95.
We had to prove ourselves. So the vets threw us under the bus, but it worked out okay. So it just made you go improve yourself, and a little bit tougher. It would have been good, but I was okay. I signed a big Fila deal, coming in, so it kind of offset the fact that I didn't get that payday right away. But it made me hungry for sure.
Grant Hill got that 8-year, $45 million deal. You got to come in. Yeah, I can only imagine. Y'all was probably hit it. But even with the Fila's, like, you was one of the first hoopers that actually made us want to go to the store and buy Fila shoes and you know what I mean? Like, we was rocking your stuff, man. So I hope you understand, even in LA, just the impact that you had on the game. It didn't last long, but we was rocking them Filas.
It didn't last too long, man. I mean, they're more of a kind of a casual brand now. I mean, I think they're even still doing some things. I'm still an ambassador with Fila now, man.
Okay.
But it was cool. Like you said, a lot of guys come up to me and like, man, my mom wasn't giving me the Jordans, but I had the stack. Dame Lillard told me that. He's like, man, him and his brother, they all came. It was like, stack. We had those stacks, man. So it was good to see that type of talent and guys that are at the height of the game now still, remember those days of wearing those stack Filas.
So you talk about just Summer League now, and it seems to me, and I haven't done a ton of All-Star Weekends, y'all both have been NBA All-Stars. Like, All-Star Weekend used to be the spot, right? Everybody would come through. But the thing about All-Star Weekend, it's not always in a desirable city. No disrespect to some of the teams in the league. But Vegas seems like that spot, and it's summertime where now it's literally, we've been here a couple of days, just the amount of people we've seen rolling through the Win, rolling through the Encore. Anybody you want to see, any legend you want to see, any current player you want to see, it seems like they all here and they're approachable. Everybody can reach out and touch each other. And like you said, kind of like a family reunion. Everybody can just get back together, reminisce about old times, and just hang out.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, I see, young guys who are the future of the league, old guys legends who started this thing. We wouldn't be able to, I mean, obviously, we made, when we played, we made a ton of money that those guys didn't make. And now these guys are making, unbelievable amounts of money. That's, and that just shows the growth of the game. But, none of that really matters when it comes to just being around greatness, the old greatness that have come in and set the table, and the young greatness that's about to take off and do the things that they're going to do, man. And like I said, it's, I don't even, and I'm not great with faces or names, right? So I'm glad I just, when I make eye contact of them, they see me and I come here, boy, what's happening? You know what I'm saying? Just give them love, and that's how it works, man.
So the trick is you got to have somebody else with you. You got to have a little crew, and then you just introduce them to one of your homies first. He be like, "Oh, it's my homie, whatever." Then they say, "Oh, "Oh yeah, So
I'm bad,
that's
man.
my
It's
move.
so bad. I come and it's like I dap somebody up and I walk off and I say, "What's up, man? Congrats, whatever." And then I be like, "Who's that?"
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Right now, listen. Right now, that's most of us. We were like, I don't know who that is. But good job, young
Good
fella.
job, man. Good
Keep
job.
up the hard work.
Keep doing it.
But Summer League has become its own thing, right? I mean, we played at the Pyramid, so that was his own thing too, right? That's LA.
Yeah.
But Vegas, Vegas seems like a lot more ex-players come back and just hang because it's summertime vibe, Vegas.
Guys looking for jobs too. Yeah. I think it's a great networking opportunity for it's a lot of turnover, a lot of changes in different places, and you get around, be able to kind of come and talk to different coaches, GMs, and it's a good haven for that as well. At all levels, not just the pro level, but college level, high school. I mean, I've made some hires for my staff from Summer League as well. So it's just. So it's and it's not it doesn't always work out that way, but I think it's a good platform. Just the energy that you feel about the game of basketball. I think Warren, he did a great job. He had a great vision, and then the league has kind of come in and enhanced it even more. But it's still about the players and still about the guys.
So you're always out here on the recruiting trail, like you just never know.
Yeah,
you might have to grab a guy, bring him on that staff.
You know what I'm saying? Come on.
You're a free agent.
That's it.
You're a free agent.
So during your time in the league, I think you were one of the most feared and most respected hoopers. So was there ever a time during the game when you could just see that fear in somebody's eyes and you were just about to cook them?
Well, no, I mean, I was just wanted to attack, man. That was my game, attacking, getting into the paint. I became a better shooter. As I, kind of grew in the league and whatnot, I got the reps. I always tell guys all the time, you're going to become a better shooter the more reps you get. The outlier says like 10,000 hours, right? And I think it's like 10,000 reps. And a lot of these guys coming in high school and college, they're probably at like 2,000 reps, 3,000 reps. Mm-hmm. So it's like you got 7,000 reps before you really hone your skill. And I think that was, for me, I was known for my first step, being able to get downhill, going and trying to dunk on somebody, being a big guard. I was really like a power forward all the way in college. I was drafted as a shooting guard, but I was a power forward. I mean, Rasheed was center. I was power forward. Calabria was at the 3, Donald Williams at the 2, Jeff McInnes at the 1. But man, once I got to the league, I had to learn the 2 guard spot. I mean, I was coming off of screens getting killed, you know what I'm saying? But what I could do was compete. And I think that no matter what, I was competing. So that's why, as far as like fear and all of those things, I never had any fear of anybody that I played against because I know that I was, you probably had a better crossover. I couldn't handle the ball like Gilbert. I probably couldn't shoot it like Ray Allen, but I could compete. And I think that was big.
I remember 95 being out there, Seattle, for the Final Four, seeing that squad. But what do you remember from those UNC days? You listed that whole crew playing with Sheed and that whole cast of characters. Jeff McInnes even, who was a legend as well. Like, just dudes that, we were LA guys. My brother played at UCLA, but we rocked with y'all. We loved the uniforms. We loved the gear. Like, we were just rolling with y'all.
No, I mean, it was crazy, like, coming in, everyone recruiting, going to North Carolina, everybody was telling me I shouldn't go there, right? Dean Smith was the only one to hold Michael Jordan to 20 points. I heard all these type of things. You could come here and you do this and do that. So it just made me want to play for him even more. I wanted to prove all those guys wrong. You're not going to start there. You're not going to play this and that, right? He's going to play the older guys. And I wanted to just come in and prove that I was different. And it was tough because, I went there under the impression like that they hadn't won since 1982. So I wanted to be the team to get them over the hump. So when I committed to North Carolina, that was my intention. And lo and behold, they won it that year. Yeah. They won it in 93. So we were coming in, Rasheed, Jeff, we were coming into a team that just was coming off a national championship. So, it was pretty intense, man. Like we were going at it. We were some brash young guys coming in and wanted to get our shine right away. But we were like Brian Reese, Derek Phelps, Eric Montross, those guys had had just done it. So it was a little bit of a clash there. We almost had too much. You can have too much sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was kind of the case with that team, man. We felt like, I was averaging like 12 points in 18 minutes. And I was like, man, what if I was getting, what I'm saying, 25 or 30, and Coach Smith was, but it all comes back full circle. Like all of the headache I gave Coach Smith in his office, telling him I feel like I should get more minutes, and he telling me, Stackhouse, you and Brian Reed should try to be the best small forward in the country together. And my ornery ass is saying I can be the best small forward in the country by myself. So it's like now when I get young guys in my office, not kind of pleased with their time and their minutes, it's like it's coming back full circle. That's karma for me talking to a legend, trying to tell him how to run his team. But ultimately, man, I was ready to leave. Like all these kids, I was transferred. I felt like I could do something. I'm seeing Joe Smith win, weekly honors of Rookie of the Week and all this. I'm like, I could be doing this if I was, playing elsewhere. But, it was a key moment, man. My mom, I was there. I was just venting to her like, man, this ain't for me. I'm ready to go. I can go somewhere else. I'm leaving. And she just heard me out. And she basically just told me, if you start running now, you're going to run the rest of your life. And I just kind of, I was like, I pouted for a little bit, but I stayed there and I sucked it up. And 2 weeks later, I'm the most valuable player at the ACC tournament. So it's like, okay, listen to your mama. She know what to do.
How do you deal with it? Because you went through it, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you deal with it when that kid has that same energy? Like, yo, I think I could be doing more. Do you go back and you pull a Dean Smith and like, just wait your turn, or do you actually give him the shot to see?
Nah, man, those kids ain't doing what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? It ain't the same thing. It ain't the same. Like,
they don't got the heart for all that.
Nah, man, come. You want to go watch this film? Show what I can point out exactly what you're not doing right. But no, I think it's one of those things where, again, it's just about I walked in your shoes, I've done this, and I think that's my message. That's my sell. Or in recruiting, that no matter what you've done at this level, I've done it at a pretty high level. I was the number 1, number 2 player coming out of high school. I was McDonald's All-American. I was, like you said, the MVP of the McDonald's All-American game. I was ACC Rookie of the Year, first team. I've done all these things that you want to do. So and it's almost a beauty for me because I have their eyes and their ears, and I can kind of head a lot of that off. I can kind of sense the right type of guys. I want to bring the right type of guys in to be a part of what we're trying to do, at Vanderbilt. But even at when I was in the pros coaching the Raptors, I still had those guys' ears. They respected the fact that I found a way to have longevity, to play 18 years in the NBA, and that's what these guys want. So I'm just thankful that I have that type of cachet, to where that they really have open eyes and open ears to what we're trying to teach them and sell them.
So we talk about this a lot. It seems like, as time goes on, people forget about players like yourself. People forget about players like you. This younger generation doesn't necessarily have a love and appreciation for the history of the game. So do you find that at all? Like, you got to explain to guys who you are. Are they still familiar with your game and your resume?
Yeah, I mean, I think the good thing about it is, like, you can Google me, right? So, and it's like even the younger ones, like because I was in grassroots. I mean, that's kind of when I finished playing. I did some broadcasting things. I worked with NBA TV, but I just, all of those things, it was close to the game. It wasn't as close to the game as I like to be, being out on the floor. So, through my son, I had an 8th grade son. I started an AAU program. And I got, some really talented guys. Brandon Ingram was one of the kids that was on my team. So it was just, from that, I like the teaching aspect of it. So I think that was key for me, making sure that I was teaching and that's where I started. So I mean, I love the grassroots part of it more so than anything else.
So what was it like for you coaching a young Brandon Ingram, and were you salty at all when he picked Duke over North Carolina?
No, I really was. Man, he always loved Duke, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, I mean, everybody thought it was kind of a shoe. I mean, but North Carolina was going through some things at that time where there were, some academic things. So, and they could have possibly been on probation. So, I mean, I wasn't really pushing for that. But I never do that with any of my kids because I want them to, you know, I didn't want them to come back to me, you know, and saying, "All right, you told me to do this and it didn't work out," right? And you know, he kind of kept it, you know, hid it from me a little bit, you know, that he liked Duke and always did. He had a Duke jersey when he was a little boy, and so it was always kind of his passion to do that. But I told Jeff Capel, you know, because I kind of got turned off with Duke. I loved Duke coming out too. I mean, I was always up there, Grant Hill, and I was really close. And one day we were out there just playing pickup ball, and Coach K called me in to his office, and I was just like, whatever, you know. And then he was just like, it kind of gave me an ultimatum, but I needed to decide whether I was going to come or he was going to recruit Joey Beard. Again, being the ornery 17, 18-year-old, I was like, well, just go recruit Joey Beard, and I went to Duke, right? And you see how that turned out. Yeah. But so I told Jeff Capel, man, don't do this with this kid. I know that he likes Duke. I think he got a great chance of him coming there, but don't give him no ultimatum. Let him, you know, kind of choose and select on his own time. And he did there. He was there. He was one and done. And kind of the rest is history. But that's just kind of the events. I could have really, like I said, without that day in Coach K office, I could have very well, you know, went to Duke. I really liked the vibe, Grant, and I was really, really close. He was recruiting me, but that just kind of turned me off that day. And you know, but my mom, she loved Dean Smith. Like I can remember the story with, you know, Steve Smith was coming in earlier that morning, you know, on a home visit. She had like some donuts and coffee, and probably about 1 o'clock when Coach Smith was coming in, she was in there frying pork chops and cooking, you know, cooking grains and all this type of stuff. So, you know, even though she never tried to, you know, tell me where to go, I could tell through that little subtle,
you got
subtle
the pork
thing
chops.
right there. Yeah.
Pork
You know,
chops, greens, Sunday
this guy
meal.
get the donuts, this guy get the pork chops. She like the guy that's getting the pork chops. So.
Yeah.
And looking at Brandon Ingram, when did you look at him and say, all right, this kid's going to be a pro. He's going to be able to play at a high level in the league?
Man, he could just really shoot the basketball. I mean, I think that was his dad was a great shooter. His dad was, you know, one of the older guys that I played against when I was coming up. He was those older guys that kind of beat up on you and whatnot. So, you know, Donald Ingram and, you know, we used to play across, you know, 3-on-3 tournaments across the city. We had summer leagues and stuff that I played against those guys. And it was just, Donald called me one day. He's like, man, I kind of, you know, taking him to where I can take him. I want you to help him, you know, take that next step, man. And I just was really, you know, honored that, you know, that he did that, especially with this kid. I mean, he was skinny, you know what I'm saying, and he was kind of quiet. He didn't even really want to come. Like, his dad made him come. Like, he was just a homebody, wanted to stay and play with his local team. His dad knew that he would get this, you know, more exposure playing on the Adidas circuit. And he was like, whether you want to go or not, you going. So it's like, so that's how that happens. And then he got with the guys and, you know, just, you know, became who he is, man. But his talent, he always oozed the talent. I was probably playing him out of position just because he was so long. I was playing him at more of a wing. I didn't play him as like a power forward or center or nothing like that, but I had him at a wing when I probably should have had him at the point guard. I mean, the kid just handled the ball so well, made all the right decisions as he grew in the program. But we had point guards, you know what I'm saying, smaller guys that I had to try to put the ball in their hands. But no, I definitely didn't utilize him at his best strengths because he was 6'9", but he could handle the ball like a guard.
So when you look around the NBA today, which player in the league playing currently reminds you the most of yourself?
No, that's a tough one, man.
Yeah.
You know,
because the game has changed.
Yeah,
we were talking about it before, and I'm just like, yes, that's a.
Yeah, I mean, just guys that just want to, you know, kind of attack and get down there. I know I probably, as it's going, I probably think about something will come to me, but the way Brandon gets to his right hand is, you know what I'm saying, when he's getting downhill, he reminds me, but like I said, I couldn't handle the ball like him and play and pick and roll and do all those things and have the vision that he had. I had those things more toward the end of my career, you know what I'm saying, understanding how to, you know, make reads in the pick and roll, but just naturally having that feel and that rhythm of handling the ball like that. No, he was. You know, he's special with that, and that's why he is who he is.
Yeah, they took the ISO. I mean, but when did they start taking the ISO game out? About
Yeah, I mean, when MJ left, when MJ left, the game changed. You know, they was letting guys play zone. You never had any of that when MJ played. But as soon as he retired, man, guys was coming over, able to stand on the other side of the lane and all that. I mean, it was crazy. But it's just you find a way to adjust. When I first played with Gil, I was coming off of a little knee surgery, so I felt like I played on one leg most of that year. So I learned to post up more and do those different type of things. It's just adjusting to what you have to do to be effective. And I think that's what I tell these guys all the time, man. You got to reinvent yourself sometimes. I think that I came in as a highly touted rookie. Made the All-Star team, did all these type of things, and then there come a point to where when I went to Dallas, they asked me to become a sixth man, and everybody's like, they was, how's he gonna handle this? But it was easy because of how Donnie did it. I mean, Don Nelson came like, Stack, whether it was a sale or what, he's like, I got 6 starters. But I can't start with 5. So, what I'm saying? So I need you to come off the bench. You're still gonna play starter minutes, and you're still gonna be there at the end of the game. Cool, coach. That's whatever. And I got probably a bigger ovation coming in off the bench as I did if I was starting. So it's just like, man, it's just being able to present things. And I think just from that moment right there, that taught me a lot. Especially with dealing with my own players. It's not necessarily what you want them to do, it's how you present to them what you want them to do. It makes the biggest difference. And I think that was a huge thing that happened for me while I was in Dallas that still, helps me to this day, dealing with this new generation of player.
Yeah. Trust me, I was coaching a little bit too, and you have to sit there and you want to say something like, hold on, let me think about how I'm going to say it first. And then, lay it to them because, they're really sensitive these days, right? And, it's like, y'all going to have to toughen up a little bit more because them dogs come.
Yeah.
The higher you want to go, that mentality changes. So you're going to have to, I can't baby you forever.
Yeah, it's just different, man. I think it's I hated everybody. Like, I mean, really. I mean, like, you were on the other team. I did not like you, right? You was like, I mean, I didn't even like my teammates. I didn't want them hobnobbing with the other team, before the game or none of that, man. They're trying to beat you. They're trying to take your job. If he could right now do something and take your contract right now, as he would. So you got to have that type of mentality. But it's just a different generation now. This Generation Z, they play together. They spend a lot of time together. It's just a different vibe. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I mean, they're the smartest generation that we have because with the, all of the social platforms and the mobile devices, they get a ton of information that we didn't have. So they are the smartest generation, but they're not street smart, and they don't have all of the common senses that you need to be effective. And I think that's why they still have value from older guys like myself, like Gil, and that played in the era before.
So we talk about this a little bit. It seems like when we were coming up, everything was regional, right? We all played for teams that were local, our city, our neighborhood. I remember I was telling somebody, so I grew up in the K-Swiss program. So Baron Davis was on an older team, Paul Pierce was on an older team. We used to come to Vegas for the Easter Classic. They brought KG in, but that was like the first time I'd ever really seen a dude come from another city and come ball with our LA team. Like, we were obviously very territorial, but now it seems like guys have those relationships because they spend so much time EYBL circuit, the different AAU circuits. Teams are getting composed and comprised of players from all over the country. So are you a fan of that type of stuff, just in terms of the quality of basketball and the level of the game? But also on the other side, it seems like everybody's buddies now, so they all rock with each other. So from a competitive standpoint, do you feel like it impacts that as well?
Yeah, I want them to compete, right? But it is a different vibe, man. Just, with the border states now, when it comes to grassroots basketball, you got guys that play together from different states. And I think that's cool. But I just think that it's, you just want to still compete. I mean, I think that's what it comes down to showcasing, my skills and my talents against yours. I mean, it can, it can become very lucrative for you. It can change the the whole trajectory of your family and your next generations, just from how you present. Like I say, everybody, there's only 60 players are going to get drafted, right? Right. And, what is 450 players in the league? There's not going to be 510 this year. It's still going to be 450. So 60 players are gone every year. So, yeah. I mean, do you think about it?
Yeah.
Like, it's not that. I mean, it's great that they got two-way contracts that offer a few more opportunities for some guys now per team. So that's great. But, man, you got to realize that, and you don't see them. They're just gone, right? They're just gone. There's 60 guys that's just gone from this league every year. So, I mean, when you think about, I'm fortunate. I played almost 20 years in the league. Again, reinventing myself and understanding that it was cool to be the sixth man. It was cool to go to Brooklyn and say that I was going to be like a player coach, but in my mind, I knew I was going to come out there and compete for some minutes, and I did, and I played in my last year. But no, I said all the right things. I did all the right things, to get in the door that last year. And then when I get in there, it's like, okay, this boy, he ain't no way he's playing in front of me. He don't know enough, right? But this is, and then I still was a mentor to him, making sure that I showed him different things, and that's part of it, making sure that we give back. Each one teach one, give back. I never was threatened by any of these young guys. When Gilbert came to, I wasn't threatened by any of those guys. I wanted to show them and teach them, because I didn't have that as a rookie. When I came into Philadelphia, I had guys that would let me run in the screens because they didn't want to show me anything, because they thought that they were going to get a few more minutes, because, man, I was the number 3 pick in the draft. I was going to get my minutes. Yeah. I'm not the guy to do that with. So I just think that that's the and I promised myself that I would never be that guy. And I would always try to help. The only guy that really, really took me in, under his wing and kind of showed me some things was Vernon Maxwell. Crazy ass V Max, man. V was like, I was getting ready. Come here, pimp. Let me show you how to chase the screen. You get your hand on his outside hip, as soon as he come off that screen, you push his ass up there and get him through that one. Man, that was the best thing that he could have ever taught me, man. I was great at chasing screens from just that one little subtle thing that he showed me. That's why I got so much love for that dude today. He can call me right now and like, that guy, whatever, need a little something, man. Boom, it's done. Because it's just that helped me become a player in this league just from that little nuance that he taught me that day.
Do you think like some of the competition levels went down because they play so much? Like, back in the day when if I lost to you, I probably won't see your team for another 2 months, which made us grind. Like, it hurt so much that it made like, all right, okay, he did this to me, and I'm going to train for the next 2 months before I have to see you again. Now, there's big tournaments every weekend, so a lot you get with my ass. Like, I go win. I'm gonna give me an award next week. Yeah. And it just seems like that when the AAU level is like, there's so many tournaments every weekend that there's no. I lose, I don't care. There's no real passion about the loss anymore.
Yeah, I think there's still some guys that get it, and I think that there's some, programs that get it and teach it and do it the right way. And like I said, I hate to be that, that old guy that the game has changed so much. I still love the game of basketball. Play now in the playoffs. I thought we're great this year. I mean, even. The bubble, all of that. I mean, it was just I enjoy basketball. It's different, right? I don't like to say that any particular era or any particular mentality is so much different or better than the other. It's just different, and we got to accept it and adjust accordingly.
So, looking towards the latter stage of your career, you embrace more of that mentor role. Can you remember any guys that were super receptive? And like, who were some of those players that came to you and really looked to you to be that mentor for them coming into the league?
Man, I had a ton of guys. I mean, when I was, when I went to Dallas, like Josh Howard and Marquise Daniels, Devin Harris, and then I, went to different teams. I mean, I was like mentor to Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. In Miami when UD got hurt, then they had to bring in another big, and I was the last guy that was, brought into the team. So they released me and signed Eric Dampier. But, it's great when I hear Dwayne Wade talk, and he's talking about how I showed him things in the post-up, from as a big guard and little things like that, and have an impact. When I see LeBron now and he comes in and gives me the biggest hug, just for, sitting those guys in the because it wasn't just peaches and cream with those guys when they first got together.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a little bit of, something in the air, right? And I was just like, man, making sure, man, y'all make sure that y'all in this hot tub, every, after this game, talking. And keeping this same type of vibe, and just those little, things that I shared with those guys, man, they still come up and they're thankful and grateful for those just little words of encouragement. So, and I think that's, it makes me feel good. I mean, everybody, just to know that the little things. I mean, I didn't even finish the year with them, but those few couple months there had some value and some, gave them some perspective to what they needed to do to be successful.
Man, don't leave me out, goddammit. Shit.
Oh, you're crazy, man.
What I'm saying is like, my post up. You help me with my post up. You help me with my ISO, throw the long leg out there in the middle of their legs.
JJ, Juan Dixon, all of them, man. Yeah, push them off, step them off, step them off.
Put that long leg. Yeah, you thought I forgot?
I gave you that too. He had so much shit, man. I didn't have to give him much, man. This guy here, man.
Put that long leg. You got to back up now. Here you go. That's all I needed. That's the stack right there.
Step him off, Gil.
See, that's what I said. Like, people didn't realize. Like, I shot the three and got to the lane, but right after you left is when my game turned, because I was using the things that you were doing. Like, I'm watching pickup. He backed him up. How you do that? You just grab right here, put your leg out. He got to respect it. He got to back up. Like, all right, go ahead, turn that in. I was hitting Larry with that shit all through the playoffs.
I would get one offensive foul. You know what I'm saying? Again, it was like I was going to average 3 turnovers anyway, so one more wasn't going to matter much. But I'm going to back you up, you know what I'm saying? And then after I back you up that first time, then I had to worry about it. You were going to give me the space that I need to be. Again, like I said, there's a number of guys from those teams that I played with. Mateen Cleaves, I mean, I hear him tell stories back when we were in Detroit. It's just like, again, he's like, man, Stack had me mad. I couldn't even talk to my friends on the team because I'm like, man, there ain't no hobnobbing right here, man. They're trying to kick our ass. We're not going to hobnob with these guys, man. You talk to them after the game, but I think they respected that and understand that it's just part of being competitive. Again, like if they were on our side, now things change. Yep. But you're not on our side right now. You're trying to beat us. If you had an opportunity to embarrass us, you would. If it came to right now, if they had to decide between me and you had to push me off the cliff to get this contract, you would do it. So that's just the mentality that I had to always try to protect mine and protect. And I was, I hate it because I scored the basketball that I was, sometimes perceived as selfish or whatnot. And all great scorers get that, kind of, whether it was Michael Jordan, any great scorer now, KD or anybody, they get that type of narrative sometimes from detractors. But for me, it was just about my team. I wanted my team to win. I wanted us to be successful more so than I wanted the other team to be.
Yeah, that's the worst narrative that's going. Like you a ball hog, right? And it's like you ain't been out of practice.
Been nowhere.
You ain't coming
coach all the plays.
There's a reason that I get to shoot all the time. We work out together. We in practice together. There's a reason. We're passes to your teammates. As much as we want to say, who? Who? We will all be getting max contracts if it was like that. All right, just let me keep doing what I'm doing.
Got to be a pecking order.
They got their roles. There's a reason they got their roles, goddammit.
I'm very excited about today's sponsor, BirdDogs. Look and feel your best just like me with their amazing line of shorts. Tired of the same old khaki shorts? BirdDogs has got you covered. The anti-stink, sweat-wicking fabric breathes and keeps you dry all day long. No more cotton-absorbing, annoying shorts. BirdDogs will help you stay stylish while keeping you cool and comfortable all summer long. BirdDog shorts also give you the best fit of your life without sacrificing movement. With their very own Cloud Knit fabric, you get the comfort you deserve and the style you enjoy. So ditch those stiff and restricting shorts and become a BirdDog user just like me. I love the look and feel confident rocking them on those hot summer days. And if you act now, you get a free Yeti tumbler. Go to birddogs.com/pool and enter promo code POOL for a free Yeti style tumbler with your order. Again, that's birddogs.com/pool for that free Yeti style tumbler. Believe me when I say that you won't want to take your bird dogs off. We promise you. I know y'all didn't play together too long, but Stack, what was your favorite memory of Gil from your time with the Wizards?
I don't know if it's a good memory or not. When he was,
the show's called No Chill, so you can share whatever memory you want.
When I had to come and get him from the police station that one night, from him driving around in the car with no
Hey,
tag.
that was a real thing? Man, hey, I've been getting trolled with that, man. Oh, that's a real thing.
He had one of those, the one with the one wheel thing?
Right, the little motorcycle, the little T-Rex thing.
Yeah, T-Rex. He came to D.C. with a T-Rex and then put no tags on it and tried to riding around, and they was like, okay. And then they took his ass to jail one night, and then I had to go talk to the police like, man, I promise you, I'm going to get him some tags tomorrow. So it wasn't even nothing about basketball.
Man, listen, I've been getting trolled with that, and I just thought was lying. I'm just, Stackhouse out to bail you out. And I was like, man, I don't remember going to jail. And he was like, because of the tags. I'm like,
yeah. How does that break down? Is you using that one phone call to call Stack? How do you end up having to go down?
No, I saw him get him.
You know you seen that
night. Yeah, and then it was like, so I, followed him to him to get there. And again, luckily I talked to the right guys and whatnot. And
it was before I got booked. Yeah. So I didn't. Yeah.
And then so we were able to get him out of that. But I think
how you don't remember.
Because I didn't have to hit the hand. I didn't have to.
He just got $60 million. That's all it was.
Okay.
They gave him $60 million. You forget a lot when you get $60 million for the first time after being on some minimum deals, some low ball deals.
Rough.
But I just think from watching him shoot the basketball, man, I was like, it was special to watch. I mean, handling the ball, the drills, Edon. I remember Edon working him and doing those between the ball drills and getting to his stuff. So it wasn't no surprise to me that he had the success that he did. I was just in a different space mentally there. I mean, I was coming from Detroit where we were, getting to the conference finals and or trying to make it to the conference finals, and now we worked out these years to get to the playoffs, and now I get traded to a team that's talking about making the playoffs, right? So I just my mindset was there, and then I had a knee. I had to get my knee cleaned up there. When I was coming back, I was playing on one leg. They was trying to get me to come back too early, Then I was ready to, and from that, fortunately, I was able to get to Dallas, more of a veteran situation. I mean, and allow those guys to grow. I mean, Antoine came there. In that trade, I think Caron Butler, those guys, they had a good core, but it was better for me to be around a more established team that had been to the playoffs and was doing some things there. Nothing against that organization, but I never embraced being in Washington, just from kind of being a little dejected from being in Detroit. Like I said, after I leave Detroit, they get Chauncey Billups and get a gift of Rasheed Wallace and go on to win the championship. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I'm not taking nothing away from Rip. Rip is a great player, but I don't think nothing changes there from our roles within that team of being the leading scorer on that team. But Rasheed Wallace
that's what changed it
for Bobby Sarah was just a gift. You know what I'm saying? So that's just. So that was tough. It was tough. At a point in my time to kind of be injured, watching this whole new team talk about making the playoffs for the first time in however long, and then watching the team that I just left, go off and win a championship.
Oh yeah, so you was in there the year before I got there, where y'all talking about making the playoffs, and then when I got there, it was like rebuilding.
Yes.
Right, and
Eddie Jordan, he coming in with the the Princeton offense, man. It takes 2 years to even learn that shit. I ain't got 2 years to give, man. I'm in year 10 damn near right now. So it was just it worked out. I mean, I had a great rapport. I did it the right way. I didn't go out, in the paper saying I didn't want to be here.
Facts.
I went and had a conversation with Ernie Grunfield at the time and told him that I just felt that it would be better for me to be in a more of a situation, with a playoff team, and he made it happen for me. So I just think that it's business, man. How you approach the business and good things happen.
You changed. I use it to troll my teammate. Right? I use it. No, I use it. So because you was hurt, you wasn't really around like that, right? So when all the bickering was going on with the young kids, right, trying to figure out whose team it was, and it was really some like.
Because we knew who team it would have been if I'd have been.
No. Because I was like, it's Jerry's team, shit, but Jerry ain't here, so because Jerry in the locker room like that, we'll be like, nah, it's my team. So it was like some real uncleaned air, right? And that I love when I get to use it online with him. And when we had that locker room meeting about whose ball it was, and you came in and shut all that shit down. Like, I don't know if you noticed though. My whole shit changed. We sitting there like, the big man want the ball, I hate passing the ball to these goddamn bigs, man. And you came in there, it's like, hey, man, listen, I told you ain't getting the ball. If you averaged 7 last year, you're going to average 9 this year. You ain't going to jump from 7 to 20. That's not what you're going to do, right? And I'm just looking. What you going to do? Oh, he ain't going to do nothing? Oh, shit. Never. And from there, like, how you just look for shit, right?
That was just truth, though, man. It's like you just don't see the Jimmy Butler model that back then, right? Jimmy Butler averaged, 4 points, and all of a sudden he's, in a few years he averaged 25. Most of the guys at least average 10 of 12, and then they make a jump to 20. You just don't have guys that average single-digit numbers, and so it was just like when they was coming in there talking that, and like I said, this boy tell everything, though. That stuff was never supposed to leave.
I know, hey, man, listen. Hey, statute of limitations. I didn't want to. Listen, I didn't want to, but he kept poking. And I was like, man, hold on, you got punked in the locker room, man. God damn, man. But no, for real, it really changed the mindset because if you're the alpha of the team, right, we go how you go, right? So when you say, nah, you don't do that, oh, he spoke. Oh, shit. Hey, I'm putting my shoes on.
Do what you do, man.
Yeah, I'm putting my shoes different now.
I saw somebody sent me that, man. It was like, is this true? I was like, oh, man, this damn Gil at it again, man.
Listen, because it was real thing,
but then he blanked out. I looked at the stats. I mean, you really did blank out.
I know, that's what I'm saying. You didn't
give me my money, man.
That's what I said. Like, come on, man. Like, we all looking for inches and stuff. So, like that was the change of it because it's like you personally said it for me. You personally gave me like this. You the leader, and you didn't give me the leader. You just didn't give it to someone that I'm trying to figure out. Me, Larry, and you like, yo, this is like, oh, while he's out, he's basically saying, I can be in charge. Cool, all right, okay. Does Jerry play today? No, cool. Hey, Jerry play today? Cool, all right. But it was like
that's what they brought you there to do, man. They brought you there again. Like I said, there's a pecking order when you get, and I think it started about that time. You get paid accordingly. There's slides. This thing is slotted in this league, in the NBA. This it's a hierarchy here, and when they pay you a certain way. And they did. I mean, they paid you to be the highest paid player. They didn't pay you to come there to be a passer, right? I mean, there's a passer slot. You weren't in a passer slot. You were coming there to be Gilbert Arenas, and that's ultimately what you did, and that's how Agent Zero was formed. Right?
Yeah.
It is what it is, man. And some guys just have to. I mean, like I said, I got love for Kwame. I mean, I hate that y'all even have that. That confrontation or whatever it is, man.
We text each other every day.
Well, good. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that, man. Because
talking shit. That's all we do.
Because it's what it's about. It's about a brotherhood. It's about us. We did a lot of things in between those lines that a lot of people in this world never get an opportunity to do. So I'm glad to hear that. Good stuff.
We might need you to mediate, though. I feel like you're the only one. You might, and I've been thinking about this for a while. Who is big enough to mediate this situation? You might be the only one.
We got to get
these two dudes together.
It's funny because I didn't know there was hatred between us, but it ain't no hatred, right? It was just a time where I became a star, he didn't, and I think it was just in the back of his mind. And then when he started, going off, and he just said, "Oh, Gil's right there too. Let me go ahead and throw that in there," right? But we talk every day.
Okay.
Every day we talk, just like we're still teammates, locker room shit, right? And we just sit, we 20, 19 coming in the league together, and he's probably the only person I probably talk to every day. Like he'll throw something, I'll throw something back, and then from there we just bickering for the whole day. We just bickering the whole day. It's the funniest shit.
Kwame got time, man. That's one thing about Kwame. He got time, man. But no, that dude, man, yeah. He's a different dude, man. That big old country boy, that's something else now. I'm telling you, I was like, I remember we were in the club one day, and I don't know, guy got sideways or something, said, Kwame was like, "Oh, Stack, what's wrong? Oh, Daddy here. Daddy here." You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody doing nothing. No, that big old country boy right there. Y'all better be ready when y'all messing with him. So I'm gonna leave him alone. I think I might could get him, but I ain't trying. I'm a little older now. y'all clean that up. I don't even know if I even want to mediate that.
So you talked about loving Grant Hill back when he was in college, thinking about going to Duke. You guys actually got the chance to play together with the Pistons for a couple of seasons. Probably one of the scariest duos in the league at that point. I think y'all both rocking the feelers at that point too, which it was a great moment in Feeler history. Like I know they were cooking, they thought the sky was the limit. But I want to know what made Grant Hill's game so special, and do you feel like that you guys split up too early, and if you would have stuck together a little bit longer, you could have did some amazing things?
Oh, absolutely, man. Grant was special just because he was a point guard. I mean, he could handle the ball so well. I mean, it was just. Lindsey was, kind of slotted in as the point guard, but, he played off the ball because he could shoot the ball. And, Grant, we were on both wings. If we would hit up the wing, we had bigs that were taught to kind of come back and flow so we could slice into the post. The only thing that was the issue with us was, MJ and Scotty. You know what I'm saying? It was just that we were together during that time, during their heyday when they were, the best in the business, and it was just hard to get over that hump with those guys, and and then like I said, it did a little premature when he up and left to go to Orlando, which it was tough. It kind of set us back. I thought we were really we both made the All-Star team. We were both on our way. And then, obviously, I think, he had some things with his wife, some opportunities there with Sony down in Orlando. I just think he had to look at it, differently. And but I got the chance to shoot up all the balls for a year. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the best team, but at the same time, I was that's what I was asked to do. The coach needed me to put up that thing 24 times a game. Until we had put some more pieces around us the next year when Rick Carlisle got there, and he asked me to be more of a facilitator. I went from 29 points a game to 23 points a game, but we went from 32 and 50 to 50 and 32. So it just shows you that sometimes less is more. And but Grant was special, man. I think if he obviously he's still a Hall of Famer, but I think if he doesn't get hurt, and he would absolutely been a first ballot Hall of Famer, man. He had that type of talent and just that type of persona on the floor.
So my dad always liked to tell this story when he was playing with the Bucks. I want to say his second year, he averaged like 28 a game. Don Nelson came to him after the season like, "Look, I need you to facilitate more, get the ball around." So he went down to like 22. So talking about that year, I think 2001, you averaged damn near 30 points per game. We round up always, so 30 points per game.
Right.
Led the league in total points scored. Then Rick Carlisle comes in that next year, says, "Stack, I want you to, lower that average, facilitate." How long were you skeptical at first, or how long did it take you to embrace that after just saying, "Damn, I could put up 30, why not take that shit to 33, 35 a game," to now our 21, 22?
Yeah, and I just think, again, it's all about how you present it, and I think that's how, Rick presented it to me. I mean, again, came in. We're going to be better if you're better in the pick and rolls. Teams that we can bait teams by you being in pick and roll more as opposed to isolations. You know, they're afraid of your ability to come downhill against bigs. So, you know, they're going to trap you. Now we got to get you to the position where you're making good reads out of that pick and roll. And now we're playing 4-on-3 on the other side. You're taking two guys with you, and we're playing 4-on-3. So those are the sacrifices that you have to make for us to become a better team. And then I made those sacrifices, and it was kind of weird though. It's like I made those sacrifices, and I didn't make the All-Star team that year. Right, yeah. I was the leading scorer. I led us in scoring. I led in assists. Ben Wallace gets Defensive Player of the Year. Corliss Williams gets Sixth Man of the Year. I think Rick get Coach of the Year.
Wow!
And I didn't even make the All-Star team. So, but we won 50 games. So it was just like it was a little bittersweet there because I felt like I'm seeing my peers get those. I felt like it's probably a couple more years that I should have been an All-Star that it just didn't happen because of whatever reason. It's just I kind of got caught in with those. Reggie during those years of Reggie and Michael in the East, they were pretty much penciled in, and it was like the couple other years that it was maybe either me or Allen Houston or Ray Allen or whatnot. So you just had to, even though you had the numbers to support it, you just maybe didn't get denied. I mean, when the year in Washington, Michael's last year. Mm-hmm. I led the team in scoring and assists, and didn't make the All-Star team. I kind of understood that one a little bit though, because it's the greatest in the game, but I felt like I should have been there. So it's just those things that just
when the coach comes and tells you that you need to sacrifice, I get offended. The reason I get offended is you don't think I'm smart enough to know I got better players on my team. You don't think I know that we got him in, he has to score for us to win. Like, you think you got to tell me, take 10 less points. I know who we just got. I know who we just added. Let me.
Right. and that was the case too, man. Exactly the case. Because we got that year, we brought in Cliff Robinson, brought in John Barry, and Corliss that year. So yeah, it was like, again, it was naturally I got better guys around me to distribute to, and that I felt more comfortable than because as great as Ben Wallace was on the defensive end, he wasn't an offensive threat. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times we were out there damn near 5-on-4, with him. I mean, he became better of learning how to make himself effective, over time. But it wasn't that case the first few years. I mean, he was rebounding and block shots, but it was the offensive part of it wasn't his strong suit. So I got my shots and his. So that's just the reality of how that was.
So let's talk about the trade from the Pistons to the Wizards. Obviously, you going in, you playing with MJ, his final year. Y'all got the UNC connection. People were calling you the next Michael Jordan when you were coming out of college. I think you said that you had a profound respect for his game. He was almost your idol even at that point coming in. But that you regretted that experience. And to your point, you just mentioned you led the team in scoring, but everything was going to be, similar to Kobe in his kind of final years, everything was going to be centralized around Mike and that team, and you were going to be overlooked and overshadowed. So how hard was it for you playing with MJ on that Wizard squad?
Well, I don't know if it's just how on the court what it was. It was just always going to be something pitted against us. I mean, we had been competitors for so long that people just, the media, they were, just tried to pit us against each other for whatever reason, and that's just a battle that I can't win. Nobody can win, with Michael Jordan. He's the greatest, player in my mind to ever play the game. But I just didn't feel that was, where I should be there. I thought he was bringing me there to to lead, but he was bringing me there to kind of be a sidekick for for him. And we just kicked y'all ass last year when I was in Detroit. Just kicked y'all ass. So why would I want to leave Detroit to come here and play second fiddle? And I think that was just. Like it wasn't nothing personal again. My God, we went to dinner. We had a great time, away from basketball. But where I was in the prime of my career, again, coming to a team that's talking about trying to make the playoffs and him probably only playing another year or so just wasn't what it was cracked up to be. It was initially I thought about, yeah, man, playing with Michael Jordan for a year. We got off to a pretty good start. And Michael didn't like the way the ball was being distributed. So, and Doug Collins, who I felt like was trying to make some amends for some things that didn't go well with him and NJ would hide in Chicago, whatever Michael wanted, that's what he did. And I just got caught up, in the middle of that. And wasn't, never necessarily nobody's fault, but it just wasn't, he was ready to win now. He wanted to win now. I mean, probably Rip should have never left there, right? Rip had played well. He was a young guy in Washington that, they could have built around, but MJ was like, nah, I need an older guy to come in here and help me get this done now. My window's closed. And I just kind of got caught in that mix. And it is what it is. Ultimately, I got parlayed that into getting to Dallas and making the finals and doing all those type of things for the only time that I made the finals in my career, which I still hold as one of the best seasons of my 18-year career. So I'm thankful for that. But the path and the trajectory that I got there, I wouldn't have chose that, but God always got the plan. So I feel like whatever happened and all that things happened for a reason to why I'm probably still sitting here right now.
Would that even made sense? I wasn't there. It just doesn't logistically make sense to make a 38, 39-year-old, at that time, a number one option. Like, I'm bringing you in to lead it, and then, you get all the double teams and all that stuff, and MJ, you can hit your little pop shots, and that would make sense to me.
Not the mentality of the greatest, man, and I could understand that, right? I mean, he's absolutely the greatest. He's still, in his mind, he's still the greatest, right? Mm-hmm. And, it just, in my mind, that wasn't the case. I felt like I was ready to take that next step and lead and he'd be more of a supporter from it. But that was.
I was gonna say that. I mean, as a coach, that would make sense. All right, okay, we're gonna bring him in. You're gonna lead. We're gonna throw the pat. You're gonna get your. But I guess, when you have who you are, it's
it was a funny story. Like, it was just like, man, we were going over the scouting report, and like, MJ always felt that the best player on the other team was going to match up with him, right? So, I mean, so he just automatically assumed, we was playing the Spurs, that Bruce Bowen he was the defensive stopper, that he was going to guard him. And then when we got to the jump ball circle, Bruce Bowen standing right there beside me. You know what I'm saying? So I just think those were just, and it's nobody's fault. Mm-hmm. I think if I've had accomplished and done everything that Michael Jordan had done, I would feel the same way that Bruce Bowen would be the guy to be matched up with me. But obviously, Greg Popovich didn't feel that way. So it's just.
Do you think that was even mind games at all with Pop knowing that our MJ probably expects Bruce Bowen to guard him, so we just gonna.
It could be. I just know what the reality of it was.
When we guarded y'all, Larry Hughes guarded you. Antoine, you go get MJ, though. Yeah, so I just thought about it. Like, Larry Hughes, we had to put Larry Hughes on you. We didn't put Larry on Jordan, man.
So you talk about,
hey, come on.
You talk a lot about your time with the Mavs, and just want to look at Dirk Nowitzki. He seems like a guy who really don't get the love that he deserves when you talk about kind of greatest players of all time. So for you, what was it like coming into that Mavs squad, playing with Dirk, and how would you say he's helped change the game of basketball?
He was one of those first guys that I played with that, man, like, yeah, you kick it to somebody, that's a good shot. He probably gonna make that. You might get an assist. Mm-hmm. If you really want to get an assist, you get that thing to 41. You know what I'm saying? And he was gonna do something. Just the way that he could stretch the floor from three. That the paint was always open. We had one center, Eric Dampier, who was good at, catching and finishing around the basket. So if his man showed up, we didn't have to worry about the paint being clogged because of how he stretched the floor. I mean, how he, played in the post and did all, he just did the one-legged fadeaway and all that became famous as a shot. that was my bump. That was my bump in the post.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Where I got that separation and I came back. I didn't kick my leg up when I got the separation. Same thing. Dirk was coming stack. It's like you going left shoulder, left. You're like so it's just those little subtle things that you pick up and you learn from people, and he took it and he made it the Dirk shot. Everybody calls it the Dirk fadeaway. Man, I've been doing that shit.
I know,
forever,
that's what I'm saying.
So it's just,
He owe you so basically, you're saying Dirk hit you with the Elvis.
Nah, man, no, I'm dead. That's what I said. I'm dead serious. I know where I got my shit from.
Dirk hit you with the Elvis, is what we saying right now.
I know where I got mine from.
Elvis came to the hood, saw him breaking it down. So I'm gonna add that in my shit.
Man, that's why I went from 18 with the same 18 to 25. All because of that little turn. Then went to 29.
See how many of the one leg step fadeaways that you see before we played together in 2003. Like, go back and watch all this film and see how many of them that you see. But when
now we got a logo for it.
Yeah,
Dirk, you got to speak on this.
Each one teach one, man. You learn. That's what I said. You learn, man. And that's I always preach that to kids and some of the young guys, man. Study the game. Watch everyone has a gift. Everyone has something that they do very well that got them here. Learn it. Add that shit to your game. You don't know what it is. It could be the first step, how he holds the ball, like, you know what I mean? How he does little things in the post. Learn it. Add it to your game. Everybody ain't bums.
No, man.
Right? Everyone has something that they do very well. Find it out. When you get it, ask questions. Study it.
And I got it from what I got it from the bump, really the step off in the bump. I got it from Rick Carlisle. He got it from Larry Bird. So that's where all of this
So it goes back. It's like a double Elvis thing. Like,
the step off, boom, and get him on the hip, step off, bang, and you got him. And that's where that came from. Then Joe Dumars, when I played with him, well, I would get him on there, and he would used to boom. He hit you with this little subtle one, but he turned it right into a shot. So as he was hitting you and knocking you back, all the officials see is, you turn it into the shot.
Wow.
Right. And Larry Bird, he step you off, boom, and the little dribble back, boom, bumping a little dribble back. That's what Rick taught me. And all of that kind of parlayed into fadeaway, the moniker. Now you got the real story.
Okay. So basically Larry Bird, but then you took it to another level. Dirk took it back.
Yeah. And there's always, like I said, that Rick played with Larry on those Celtics teams and whatnot. And he showed me that move when he first came to Detroit. That step off move that he's talking about, get him between his leg when I'm on the block, turn around, face him, get it all that, all moves that Larry did that I, worked on every day. Kind of perfected, gave a little bit of it to Dwayne Wade, gave a little bit of it to Dirk Nowitzki, and this guy here with the step off. So
you got it from Larry.
I still teach it right now today.
You got it from Larry, gave it some flavor. Then it got regentrified by Dirk.
Regentrified back.
We take the community, then they take it, but now it's all good. So let's talk a little bit just about your coaching. And obviously NIL is all the story now, but also the transfer portal. So how have NIL and the transfer portal changed the college basketball landscape?
Yeah, I think it's anybody that tell you that they have the blueprint of what NIL should look like, walk away from them because they don't know. It's still so much up in the air about how this thing is really going to settle out. They're trying to get Congress involved, which I think is not the way to go. I think it should be something similar to the way the NBA operates with its players, where it should be collectively bargained, to where the players got to at some point have some type of representation. If they never have any representation to speak on their behalf, then things are always going to be, lopsided. And I think that's what, Cory Booker and these guys and, in Congress are seeing, that these kids deserve money. It's come down, and that's why you're seeing these NIL deals, the transfer portal. I don't hate the transfer portal. I like the fact if sometimes it just doesn't work out. Like you have a kid that come in and maybe come find out, and I've had that happen where you're just not this level, and you need to make it. And I need to go and replace him right away. I don't need to have you replace him and the guy have to sit out a year. So I like the one-time transfer. I like that these guys have been able to make money off of their name, image and likeness. I mean, hell, I wish I could go back retroactive and get some of the money that was made off of mine. But we got at the same time we just got to find a way. Right now, it's kind of like the wild, wild west, and unfortunately, I got the support from donors and everything that is not going to allow us to develop talent and allow other teams to come up and steal our talent. So we got to step up to the table and try to figure out kind of market value, be fair to these guys, but at the same time, there's a lot of kind of rogue agents that's in these guys' ears that's giving them a lot of misinformation, trying to get them to jump into the portal to test the water. Telling them that they're behind the scenes, calling different coaches and different staff members and saying if this guy gets in the portal, what would you do? And it's just it's a shit show right now. But I think ultimately it'll get settled down. But it's about the right people. You get the right people that come in about the right thing and start with those families. I mean, I signed guys this year, and other teams, even though they've committed to us, have still come in and try to steal them. But I got good kids and good parents that they decide. And I don't know, what I'm saying, if somebody would have told me that there's a lot of these families never seen $300,000 or $400,000 at one time.
Wait, come again?
Yeah, $300,000 or $400,000 at one time. That's some of the going numbers for guys that's averaging 13. 14 points. I ain't even talking about 20. 13, 14 points can garner you, $300,000, $400,000, maybe even $500,000. Man, we need to go back there. Yeah. So.
Hey man, they would have to fire me for coming in and be like, yeah, I need 300,000. Yeah. I'm like, that's cool. Yeah. I need 25 points a game, guaranteed.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly, and that's
why if you don't guarantee me 25, because my money guaranteed right here. Right. If you don't guarantee me 25, how much can I take off?
Right.
How much can I take off?
How much can I take off?
Because that's how we're gonna do that. How much can I take off?
They don't want the takeoff part. They want to just, and then like I said, it's like, and a lot of them are getting promised this money and not even getting them because there's no contract to really to have them locked in. I mean, the guys are just lying, telling you coming here for a certain amount and they never see it.
Yeah, I already told my son, you ain't getting no NIL, man. You got to earn your shit, right? You got to earn it. You ain't, college is one thing, the pros where you get paid. So you're not going to sit here in high school thinking about money and then you think that's professional. Nah.
But a lot of these guys, like, that's never going to, make it at the highest level. It's pretty good payday.
It's a pro, yeah.
I mean, I thought they said I saw something where they put the game together, just the money that NCAA generates for just college football, basketball, and women's basketball could pay all of those guys almost $400,000 a piece. Pretty easy. And that's not even like and that's still maybe a 60-40 split with 60 going to the school. That's just 40% that could do that. But they want to use all of it, saying that 40% is need to take care of all of the other sports, all of the the non-revenue sports. And but it's like, man, you got to say in these sports, most of these guys look like you and I.
Mm-hmm.
They look like us.
Yeah.
So they're responsible for taking care of all of these other non-revenue sports.
A lot of them are country club sports too. Just to be real, like they got to come out them pockets.
How about using some of that endowment to do that?
Exactly.
But they don't want me talking about that shit. So they
No, but we appreciate. The last question I got for you. So you mentioned before you got other coaches, other programs trying to come in, poach some of your guys, get some.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real. If I'm a college coach and you tell me you're going to play for you at Vanderbilt, I'm just gonna take that L. Like, go ahead. I'm not gonna fuck with Stack because I don't want him to pull up on me. I don't want to have to see him at Final Four, any of these spots, and for it to be an issue. But do you have to now see these guys on the recruiting trail and at these different AAU events and whatnot after they tried to steal a player?
Down on a couple of them.
I pulled up on a couple of them.
I checked down on a couple of them for sure, man. It's just like they start these crazy narratives that, I mean, like every spring, I'm going to the NBA. I mean, it's a random story out of a college basketball site. that's saying that Jerry Stackhouse is going. I mean, they linked me to the Detroit Pistons, they linked me to every open job, and I have to, you know, in recruiting, you know, parents want to know, am I going to be here? So I have to, you know, squelch all of that, and when I should be talking about, you know, the academics of Vanderbilt, how we can help you improve, I have to sit here and squelch rumors about, you know, me leaving and going into the NBA because, you know, and it ain't just the white guys doing it. It's the guys that look just like us. It's creating these narratives too. So it's a dirty ass game. But at the same time, I love it. I love the fact that I'm teaching, you know, these young guys, helping them get better. I'm at a world class, university that, I mean, second to none. I mean, almost at an Ivy League status. So it almost, you know, we alleviate some of the riffraff, you know what I'm saying? You know, so, and we get good kids that are going, you know, if they don't play basketball, they're going to go do some special things anyway. So I feel very fortunate to be there.
What rules would you change, like with the NILs? Would you take out agents? That dirty is, you know, the dirty part of the game where someone can see your player and say, hey, you know, we got something for you. Come over here next year. And like, what would you take out of it right now before any like real rules to keep it?
Yeah, I just think they need to be certified. I mean, they need to have, you know, some, because you get all these guys that's coming in and all the thing they're trying to do is use these kids to get something for themselves. I mean, I've seen it where the agent, you know, can't even get a guy in the G League combine. I ain't even talking about the regular combine. You can't even get him in the G League combine. A guy called me about, do you want the kid to go to the G League combine? Yeah, it's cool. All right, yeah. But your so-called agent couldn't even get you in there. Why are you with this agent? Yeah, I'm like, I'm not paying, I'm not negotiating with no agent. Whatever I do for you, whatever we decide to do as far as NIL is because it's what we want to do, not because we're getting pressure from any agent or that you feel like you threaten us by going somewhere else, man. Like I said, it's not at that level. But again, you know, it's a crazy game. We're figuring it out. Nobody really has all the answers, but at the same time, we're trying to navigate it the best we can.
Stagley, we appreciate you pulling up, taking some time,
man. I appreciate being here. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, man.
This has been another episode of No Chill with Gilbert Arenas. We'll be back with more very soon.